problem been here for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. A long time. That's the problem. Because the problem has been here for a long time and nobody wants to address it. That's the problem. So let's not try to throw it off on somebody else or one person here or two people there. No, the problem's been here for quite some time. It's just the fact that nobody is man enough or woman enough to want to acknowledge it and do something about it. It's always a bigger problem and it's always a bigger picture. That's America. Coming from someone that has traveled the world many times. I just tell it like it is. That's what I do. And that's why I'm saying I want to see where things go from here. I was already ticked off when they took the Indy 500 from me this year. You want to get me mad? Take my auto racing from me. I've had my auto racing since I was a little bitty kid, and they took it away from me, man. That's un-American. That's un-American. But I got over it. You know, I came to a consolidation within myself, which I never had to do. And I did it. It was hard, but I did it. And now, I'm sorry, on top of all of that, I'm sequestered within my house. I'm sequestered. I got another question here from Chris. Is Trump against the New World Order or for it? Is Trump against the New World Order for it? I don't know, bro. I really don't know. We'll put it like this, though. When you get put in position, I'll just put it like this and you make your own decision. Because this is how I make mine sometimes when I'm dealing with certain complicated questions like that. When you put in position of power, and you know what corporations put you there, who put you there, whatever entities out there that we can't see and touch, you know, we know they put you there. You better know your beans from your cornbread. Like my mother used to tell me. You better know your beans from your cornbread. And if you don't know your beans from your cornbread, you will be dealt with. So I can say that. My boy Gary, hey, what's up, Hawk? My boy Gary said, come to Cleveland tomorrow night, and we got dirt track racing. They got, well, can they have people in the stands? Or am I just going to be standing on the side of a dirt track watching cars go around it? You know, what's going on? Can I buy some popcorn and some peanuts and some hot dogs or what? Let me tell you something, Gary. I'm going to tell you something, Hog. I'm going to tell you a story, bro. And this is a true story. And anybody that knows me knows I tell true stories. They might be funny. They might be off the cuff a little bit. But it's a true story. This was several years ago. I remember this is when my daughter was like a baby. And me and her mom took her to the races with my boy Kenny Bombero on the north side of Houston. We didn't go with him. We went and met him out there. He invited us to go out there. So, you know, everybody knows I'm a big racing fan. I go out and Kenny, race driver. I go out and watch them that night, you know what I'm saying? And Houston, what is it? Houston Raceway Park or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like it's not even a half-mile track, man. It's an oval, but it's not even a half-mile track. It's small, but you know, and I can't remember what class they were running in. And me and my family, I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, but me and my family was the only black people at the whole track. Not that I'm, you know, not around that a lot, because of certain places I go. That's kind of usual sometimes in some of the, areas that I run in. So, we enjoyed the races and everything, and we thought everything was all cool and stuff. And we get through and we go back to the pit area or the area where they have their RVs and stuff. And, man, it was just cool to be there. And, this little kid in a wheelchair wanted to take a picture and get an autograph. And because a few people were recognizing me and stuff like that. Well, with all this going on, I didn't realize that something had happened on the track between Kenny Bombero and this other family of racers. And you start to see people screaming at each other back and forth, and I hear people cursing. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? I mean, I'm telling my ex, my daughter's mother, what's on? She's like, I don't know. Then I see guys from Kenny's team beefing with these other guys from another team. Apparently some kind of skirmish had happened on the track, and I'm like, okay, now they mad about it, but okay. And then one of Kenny's guys, I think more of his money man, in racing, but his money man, that's the guy to get the sponsors and everything. He's kind of tall guy, kind of skinny. He runs up to the people and try to tell them, hey, y'all stay over there. And the next thing you know, this guy is on the ground. He's on the concrete. Now everything, all the brawl has started. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm from the professional wrestling business. Now, I'm around a lot of local racing guys, and I'm from the professional wrestling business. And I'm looking at this like, this is what the hell? And my ex is screaming, hey, Kenny, she worried about the baby, get from over there, blah, blah, blah. Thinking I'm going to get into the fight, stuff like that. I'm trying to get out the way. I'm trying to get the kid in the wheelchair out of the way. So, this melee goes on for a few minutes and this, that, and the other. And then the security guys came and broke it up and this, that, and the other. So after everything was over with, the guys from Kenny's team look at me and go, hey, Stevie Ray, you didn't even help us. And you know what I told them, Gary? This is a true story. I swear to God. I told them, look, brother, I seen a whole bunch of white people fighting. For all I know, y'all all look the same to me. I didn't know who I was fighting. I don't know. I don't know any of y'all. That's a true story, bro. So Hawk, if I come to the track, man, you got to promise me, man, there can't be no fighting and stuff like that, man, because I'm a peaceful person, brother. I can't be around all y'all when y'all be fighting and stuff like that, man. That's not me, But that's a true story, man. Man, I should have saved that story for my podcast. You don't think so? Okay, well, I can tell it again, I guess, on the podcast. Yeah, it was a true story. It's a true story. All these white folks fighting with each other over because one man bumped another guy. Didn't want to get mad. Now you see why people fight on the street. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody cut you off. Let me get my gun, let me shoot. This guy's only in your life for 2 seconds. But the guy won't shoot a neighbor that's been bad to him for 20 years. I think that won't be more, well, I ain't saying shoot anybody, but I'm just saying, man, anger is really something to think about. People should study anger. Because how can you be so pissed off at some people for nothing and not be pissed off at people that do all kind of wrong? Is that crazy? Kind of backwards. Maybe just me. Let's see what somebody else is saying here. Appreciate that, Rick. GW, where you at? He said kind of early. GW, man, you always coming in, but no, GW, I got 2 hours on this one, so, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But, them? Okay. I give it to him again. Yeah, but if any of you guys out there, I know a lot of you guys be using your phones But you can stream live and just go to edgeradionetwork.com. And then you can use your phones to call in and talk to me. edgeradionetwork.com. Or you go to 1540 AM or 101.7 FM, depending on what side of the town you are. We have a live stream here. Phone number 281-587-1540. 281-587-1540. If you want to call in and holler at your boy. I'd love to see a new version of Holler at You. That's cool, Kay, but you know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Professional wrestling is what I'm still in professional wrestlers, 31 years later. My life is still evolved around it. And it was good to me, man. And I really appreciated it. And I really appreciate fans like you, man. But as far as in-ring stuff and being around in-ring stuff, man, it's just hard for me to stomach these days, man. It's just different game now. And that's why I've kind of directed all my focus toward other things in the business. Just going out, paying my respects, at the conventions and things of that nature. By doing a podcast, and I can get so many of the stars on that you guys knew and know from the present, and let you guys talk to them and stuff like that, and we sit down and have banter. I think that's my goal right now, to be successful at that. And I'm really excited about it again, man. I'm really excited when I'm doing things like that. And it's hard for me to get me excited about a lot of things, man, because, man, when you've done everything you wanted to do, every dream, everything you ever had on your bucket list in life, and you got a chance to do it, I feel like a very, very fortunate individual, man. Very fortunate. And not that but now I've set other goals for myself. And that's what I'm excited about now. And those other goals, I'm starting to see them come together little by little. And when it comes to life, man, that's what I'm proud of, man. I'm proud to go out and meet guys like yourself,
a gentleman that I've come
shake
to
your
know
hand,
and
have a
really
conversation with you.
Dr. Raul
I'm kind of a people
Rodriguez.
person.
I want to introduce to you.
A lot of people don't think so,
gentleman.
but I'm kind of a people person, and I like meeting new people and having conversations with people, things of that nature. It's very satisfying, and it's very gratifying, especially when people appreciate what you did and appreciate the business and things like that, man. And brother, it opens your eyes to so many other things as far as appreciation. And I'm very proud of that. As far as appreciation goes, very proud of that. And I'll take those things with me to the day I die, because I got a chance to live something and be a part of something special. To be a part of something special. Life in itself is special. That's why I don't understand why people go out of their way to make it miserable for others. It's special. And there's nothing wrong with being a part of something that's special. Well, like I said, right here on the Edge Radio Network, my name is Stevie Ray. You are listening to Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, the radio version. We got to take a short break. I will be right back.
I want to introduce to you a gentleman that I've come to know and really appreciate, Dr. Raul Rodriguez from Rodriguez Rejuvenation. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Well, I started my career as in cosmetic surgery and aesthetic medicine over 20 years ago. And I've always been an innovator in everything that I've done. And I was fortunate enough to be featured on ABC News 2020 back in 2003 with Barbara Walters doing the introduction.
I
Could this be
remember,
the answer
I
to
remember
your
Barbara
dreams?
Walters and Hugh Downs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Back then, we didn't
That's
want to
great.
end up on the Give Me a Break segment with
Yes.
John Salza, but fortunately, we were the featured segment on 2020. So I've always been an innovator in everything that I've done on the area of aesthetics and rejuvenation as well. I realized many years ago that it took more than just a scalpel to make somebody look younger and feel younger. And I incorporated into my practice bioidentical hormone replacement, optimal nutrition, other things. I mean, what's the use in looking younger if you don't feel good?
Yes.
So a lot of what I do and integrate in my practice is not just designed to help you look younger, help you look more fresh for women as well as men, but also to make you feel younger and ultimately even function younger, as we'll get into a little bit more with our segment.
With regard to men and erectile dysfunction, this has become very pervasive. And to my surprise, I'm hearing men in their 30s are having issues right now. Is that right?
Yes, it's true. And in my practice, I've had a 50-something-year-old father that brought his 26-year-old son in because he had different issues.
Wow.
With the issue of erectile dysfunction, and I would like to rephrase that and just rename it as erectile functioning, the circulation gets poorer as we get older, everywhere in our body. You know, our circulation gets bad in our legs, circulation gets bad in our heart, and eventually you die of a heart attack.
Right.
Well, the same thing happens with erectile function in men. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not a psychological issue. It's an issue that simply has to do with the fact the circulation there is not as good as it was when you were 25 years old.
Yes.
But now we have technology to reverse some of those changes, some of that deterioration of circulation to help restore more normal blood flow and circulation to the area, even though it's 25 years down the road from when you used to be 25. The procedures that I'm talking about is a procedure that actually helps stimulate the formation of new blood vessels in the area, so it restores a more normal blood flow, more normal circulation, a more normal, healthier, younger function.
You have a procedure that you've revolutionized, and now in the industry there is an option. Tell us about what that process is and how it works.
That's called the Rod procedure. Rod for Rodriguez and ROC, ROC, for restoration of circulation.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Restoration of circulation.
Restoration
the
of circulation.
Rod-ROC treatment.
The Rod-ROC treatment. Now, essentially what I've done is combine different modalities that have been around for a long time, but combine them to get synergy in stimulating new blood flow, new blood vessel formation in the penis.
Yes.
And particularly in the part of the male organ that dilates with blood, called the corpora cavernosa. And that particular treatment involves using some instrumentation with machines to deliver energy to the area, but also I combine that with stem cells. There's a lot of stuff in the news about stem cells and the capacity of stem cells to rejuvenate tissues, to heal things. And I take those different modalities and combine them in a 2-week protocol to actually get significant improvement in over 95% of the people that have the treatment.
Wow. And you're saying it's a process that's only about 2 weeks in length?
It's about 2 weeks. Right.
Wow.
It's 2 weeks. You come into the office, 3 times a week. It's 2 to 3 weeks. So I can adjust it to the patient's schedule. 2 to 3 times a week for 2 consecutive weeks. Okay. And then after that, you may not have to have another session until a year, maybe 2 years down the road.
So, Dr. Rodriguez, we are just about out of time. Can you tell folks how they can connect to you?
RodriguezRejuvenation.com. RodriguezRejuvenation.com. And there on the website, you'll find lots of useful information. And then, of course, come in for a consultation as soon as you can, because everybody is different. There's no cookie cutter approach, and we customize a treatment protocol and treatment plans for what your particular problems are, your personality to some extent, your budget. So everything is customized.
Outstanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to Dr. Raul Rodriguez of Rodriguez Rejuvenation. I want to introduce to you a gentleman that I've come to know and really appreciate, Dr. Raul Rodriguez from Rodriguez Rejuvenation. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Well, I started in my career as in cosmetic surgery and aesthetic medicine over 20 years ago. And I've always been an innovator in everything that I've done. And I was fortunate enough to be featured on ABC News 2020 back in 2003 with Barbara Walters doing the introduction. Could this be the answer to your
Barbara
dreams?
Walters and Hugh Downs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Back then, he wanted it on the Give Me a Break segment with
Yes.
John Salza. But fortunately, we were the featured segment on 2020. So I've always been an innovator in everything that I've done on the area of aesthetics and rejuvenation as well. I realized many years ago that it took more than just a scalpel to make somebody look younger and feel younger. And I incorporated into my practice bioidentical hormone replacement, optimal nutrition, other things. I mean, what's the use in looking younger if you don't feel good?
Yes.
So a lot of what I do and integrate in my practice is not just designed to help you look younger, help you look more fresh, for women as well as men, but also to make you feel younger and ultimately even function younger, as we'll get into a little bit more with our segment.
With regard to men and erectile dysfunction, this has become very pervasive, and to my surprise, I'm hearing men in their 30s are having it.
We are back, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. We are right here on the Edge Radio Network. And you know why they call it Edge? Because people like myself, I'm on the edge. And I just might step over. That's why. You know, let's get a few more comments right here. The cat is in the house. Brandy's in the house. Bradley's in the house. Larry's in the house. Larry, I want to introduce everybody to my producer, Brianna. Brianna, what's going on?
Everything's going good, you know, just making this awesome show.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, you know. But Brianna, you know, it's a friend of mine. He works for me on my podcast. You know, he gathers talent for me. You know what his name is? I'm gonna tell you what his name is. His name is Larry. Now, Larry has been given instructions to go do a few things, and guess what he's doing right now? He's watching the show. He's watching the show. And guess what he did last week, a week before last, as I'm doing my podcast?
What?
He calls into the show.
Hey, you know what? We like our callers.
I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
I don't like him calling when he's supposed to be doing something. He's calling me, Stevie. I'm like, who is this? It's Larry. I'm like, what are you doing calling into the show? You're supposed to be working on some stuff. Well, I got a couple of questions for... I had a guy, a professional wrestler by the name of K-Dog. I got a couple of questions for K-Dog. What kind of professionalism is that?
It's not professional.
Yes. Now, you see what I'm saying? You see what I got to deal with? Okay. Now, just his name goes, wait a minute. Let me pull him back up. There he is again. You know?
You got to call these people out?
I'm calling him out right now. You know? I'm calling him out right now. You know, Larry, you know, you need to be checking on a few things for your boy. That's what you need to be doing. But what's up, LeBlanc? You know, a lot of these guys, you know, they're my followers from around the deal. But hey, we're introducing them to Edge Radio. And you guys anywhere in the country right now, if you're listening to Edge Radio, go to edgeradionetwork.com, edgeradionetwork.com. And you can call into the show, 281-587-1540, 281-587-1540. You guys can holler at your boy, you know, because as of right now, you know, we're getting things kicked off. And, you know, we will be talking a lot of professional wrestling once it gets cranked up more. And we'll be talking a lot of MMA, and we will be talking a lot of professional boxing. I had Ronnie Shields, one of the premier boxing trainers, on my show a couple of weeks ago. Ronnie Shields. And I'm going to have Ronnie on this show. But right now, at this time of day, he's training boxers. He's got one, Jamel Charlo, the world champion at 160 pounds. And he also has a heavyweight by the name of F.A. Efe has a last name too, but I can't pronounce it. And he's from Nigeria. And who's one of the best heavyweight prospects in the country. So Ronnie is representing Houston doing his things, very good friend of mine. And I informed Ronnie I just got back in the gym 2 weeks ago. I just got back in the gym. I've been out of the gym.
How you feeling?
I feel good. First week it was kind of tough.
Burning off them quarantine pounds?
Yeah. And guess what? I've lost 5 pounds.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm trying to lose 10 more pounds.
Okay.
I'm going to get ripped up. I'm going to get ripped. And do you know what I told Ronnie?
What did you say?
I'm coming over to his gym and I'm knocking all suckers out.
Oh.
I'm knocking them out. Then guess what? He want to seek his big heavyweight on me, his big heavyweight prospect. I'm like, wait a minute, man. You know, you're going to seek your big prospect. I'm talking about all these other underneath guys. I'm not talking about your big prospect. But give me 6 more months.
You'll be ready, right?
I will be smoking. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to slap F.A. right on the side of his face so hard that my handprint is going to be left on the side of his face. So if I do a crime, they can get my fingerprints out of his face. That's how hard I'm going to slap him.
Oh, dang, he's going to be digging up fingerprints for years.
Yes. You know, like an old Kung Fu movie. When the guy kick you in the chest and leave a footprint on you.
Yeah.
You know, that's real. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I told him. So he better be looking for me. But that's what we're doing right now, man. Archie Willoughby asks, I am a comedian. Woke up in a bad mood because I passed gas in my sleep. That's what he just said. Why is he in a bad mood?
That sounds like a lot of information.
His name is Archie Willoughby.
Archie is very open.
Yeah, really. He passed gas in his sleep.
Oh, man.
Well, how did he know? He was asleep. Did it push him out the bed or something like that, or did it wake him up? That's interesting. Appreciate that information, Archie. I appreciate it, man. You are a comedian, man. My boy Dale's in the house. I got another question right here from Chris. What do you think about the speculation that George Floyd murder was planned, false flag attack to incite racial intention, protests, and riots and looting? I'll say like this, Chris. I don't know how you could actually attach that moniker on a lot of names if I just start putting them out there. You can put that on, Trayvon Martin. You can put that on Michael Brown. You can put that on so many people, Tamir Rice. Come on, man. I think that's kind of, no. In broad daylight with everybody to see, if that's true, they're the smartest people on earth. And it worked. Put it like that.
So they're asking if it was planned?
Yes.
Question? Oh.
Yeah, like the false flag. Like a lot of people, as far as the government goes, and I agree with Chris on some, I don't know about this one, but there are false flags out there that a lot of people have evidence of, that the government has created things to incite people to do so the government can put itself in position to do certain things. And those things have been around for quite some time. So I think that's what he's alluding to. But in this case, I'm not so sure. NWO Voice is here to keep you and the cat separate. Neil Pruitt, Man on the Streets. That's Neil Pruitt.
Okay.
Neil Pruitt, he lives in Atlanta. Neil Pruitt he used to work with people at the CDC, they track all the disease stuff and so on and stuff like that. Well, Neil Pruitt, some 2 months ago, was supposed to go down to the CDC with some of his old buddies and seek the truth. That's why he's the man on the streets, man. Neil Pruitt has produced shows all over the United States of America, and he knows people. Man, he knows everybody. And guess what? When Neil Pruitt got to the CDC, they locked the doors and told him, get out of here.
Oh, no. Oh,
Man, get out of here. We ain't telling you nothing. That's what happened. So with all that being said, is he really the man on the streets? Or is he just really a mere mortal like the rest of us, man? That's what I would like to know. But, you know, Neil, I appreciate everything. I really do. But hey, like I said to you guys, this is Edge Radio. And I know you guys can listen to this show from all over the United States of America. Yeah. All over the United States of America. You just got to go to edgeradionetwork.com. Holla at your boy. 281-587-1540. I know a lot of you guys are using your phones right now, you know, because we're streaming and things of that nature. And a few people around the city, you know, they're kind of dormant right now. But hey, man, we're getting this thing kicked off. We're getting this thing kicked off, you know? Brianna, what do you think about that?
I think that we have a great show going on right now, and I love some of the heavy hitters we've been putting in the studio. Friendly. I love Mr. Angel too.
Yeah, where is he?
We're looking for him.
Yeah, we're looking for him. We got an APB out on Angel Corona. APB, Angel Corona. Yeah. Because, like I said, Brianna, me and Angel been working together since 2016. And this is the first time I've not been able to get in contact with him, or especially when we got a show to do. So it's a kind of alarming. I'm kind of worried right now, but let's hope for the best. Make sure, you know, because I know he was working on a deal, so his phone might not be working. My boy Bobby Fulton is canceled. Hey man, I'm gonna get Archie. I'm going to get Bobby on the phone, man. I'm getting him on the podcast, or either I'm gonna have him call into the radio show here, man. Because Bobby and I, we had matches together. People know that, but I'm glad he's cancer free, man. And one of my other buddies, my buddy John, is also battling that terrible disease right now himself, man. One of my buddies I've been knowing for, oh my God, 29 years, man. He came and supported me when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, man. And we had so much fun together, man. And now he's got this terrible fight ahead of him. But if anybody can beat it, man, just like Bobby Fulton, my man John, he might be the best fight I've ever known in my life, and that's literal, because he and I met when we had a fight one day. 29 years ago, we had a fight, and here it is, almost 30 years later, and we're still best of friends, man. That's what I say when I talk about life, when I talk about how precious it is. We met in a confrontation, but that confrontation turned into love. So for anybody to tell me it's not possible, you got me messed up, dog. I already lived it. I already see it. And I'm talking about somebody that got my back with anything. This man got my back, and I got his. And we're doing a benefit for him on the 12th of this month. And you know what I'm doing just for my boy? I'm auctioning off my NWO professional wrestling boots. That's near and dear to my heart. But they not so near and dear that I can't help him raise money to overcome and help him in this fight for his life. Because I know he would do the same thing for me. I know that. He's a white guy. I'm a black guy. I love him like a brother. And he loves me like a brother. So for anybody out there that's out there talking lip about this, that, and the other when it comes to civil unrest, I know the real truth. I know the real truth because I lived it. When I say somebody got your back, This man that had my back on anything I've ever done. I'm there for you, brother. People don't know what kind of feeling that is. People don't know.
And
I
I never
know.
forgot. I went to a college.
So that's why I see things a little different than a lot of people that's out there talking
It was a
crap.
very affluent community. It was about
Thinking they know what's
90% white.
Thinking they know what the world is, and you ain't did your research.
Specks of pepper in a sea of salt,
Yeah.
right?
You're the problem.
And I never forgot during that.
You're the real problem. But hey, guys, let's take a break here, and I will be back in a few minutes. Edge Radio Network, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. Holla at your boy.
And another thing that I struggled with was this idea that my opinion didn't count, didn't matter. And I never forgot. I went to a college. It was in Westchester County, and it was a very affluent community. It was about 90% white. I was one of the few specks of pepper in a sea of salt, right? And I never forgot. There was this one professor. He was a priest. He had the collar that he wore all the time. He was Catholic in college. He had piercing blue eyes and this ruddy red complexion and snow white hair. And he had a grimace on his face that said, "I hate life and I want everybody to hate it with me." There was that kind of look. And he had the habit of choosing someone to humiliate once a day in his class. And this day, I saw his eyes lock in on me as I walked across the room. And he had a sneer on his face and he said, "I'm getting that one today." And there was a glass of water on that table. And what was interesting was this is an economic class. So the glass of water is sitting on the table. And he looks at me and he says, "Mr. Hines, is this glass of water half full or half empty?" So I said, "I can't answer the question." It's a simple question. Is it half full or half empty? I'm sorry, I can't answer the question. Look, this isn't rocket scientist, Mr. Hines. I need an answer. Is it half full or half empty? I can't answer the question. He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't know how that glass came to be at 50% capacity. You see, if it was an empty glass that you poured to 50% of its content, then it would be half full. On the other hand, if it was a full glass that you poured out half of its content, then it would be half empty. So until I know how that glass came to be at 50%.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back right here on Edge Radio. I appreciate everybody riding along today. Edge Radio is a new station. Edge Radio is a station that's growing in the greater Houston area. Edge Radio is doing something that no other stations around this city has the guts to do. You know what they did? They hired your boy. And if you hire me, you got the guts to get something done because you know I'm bringing it. They know I'm bringing it. Most radio stations are afraid of me. Brianna, did you know that? Most radio stations are afraid of me.
I believe it.
And I don't even know why. I don't know why. But I'm kind of curious to know why. I've done some investigating. You know what I found out? Brianna?
What did you find out?
I'm going to tell you what I found out. They're afraid of the truth.
What's the truth?
The truth is me.
Oh, okay.
The truth is me. And the truth is the way I lay it down. They're afraid of that, you know. They say he needs to be somewhere else, in some small town somewhere, you know, where we only got a few listeners and some chicken coops and stuff like that, you know. No. I bear to differ. You know why? No, I need to be on the big stage. I need to be on the big microphone. I need to be on the edge. And that's why I am. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to somebody that had guts, or somebody that I admire. You know why I admire him? Because he had the guts to put your boy out here. Mr. Oscar Hines, what's going on, Oscar?
Hey, man, it is all good. Your partner's name is Angel. I was going to say they're scared of you because you might be the devil.
Oh, wait a minute, man.
Hey, I don't know, man. When I heard you the angel and the devil, that's the contrast.
Wait a minute.
You're a bad dude. You're a bad dude. I love it.
I'm just the person that's not afraid.
Yes.
I walk on the edge, man.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of the edge. You know, because I feel as though I'm not going to walk over the edge. I'm going to be right there. I'm going to get as close as I can possibly get to get the word out, man.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, something you were talking about just before the break, Stevie Ray, that I really appreciated.
What was that?
You were talking about your friend that has cancer. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he was of another race is inconsequential to you. And I think it's important for people to really hear that, because some people conflate the idea with being proud of who you are as an African American person with hating white people, which is ridiculous. I have white friends I love. I'm not trying to hate on them. I just don't want to hate my people.
Right, exactly. Don't ask me to be like you.
Yes.
I tell my friends that all the time. Just because we're friends and we're of different ethnicities, that don't mean I think like you. Don't ask me to do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not that house, you know what.
Well,
I'm not him.
I was going to say you're too big and intimidating for this to have happened.
No.
This situation I was about to say, but this happened to me a couple of times.
Go ahead.
Because I mix and blend with all sorts of people. So and I talk a little quote unquote white.
Yeah.
And man, I was with some white folks, and they forgot I was black. They were like, yeah, and like with them black people when they start doing that. I looked at them and like, man, who the hell you think you're talking to right now?
Oh, we forgot you wasn't one of us.
Exactly.
Oh, we forgot.
A minor faux pas, right?
Yeah, that happens, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But I think some people are so ingrained in systemic outlook on things that they don't realize. And I've never had to deal with what's inside me before, because I can just shun it off.
Yeah.
I got a problem with people, a few of my friends, this week and last week, want to talk about the civil unrest, whereas you acting as though you give a damn about somebody's property. I don't want to see anyone's property, vandalized. I don't want to see anyone's property, demolished in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. But if that touches you before what's been going on, we got a problem.
Exactly. I agree completely.
We got a problem. You don't even know who owns those properties, usually Fortune 500 companies that's got insurance that can build them back up. Or somebody else's property, I'm glad they burnt it down anyway. I want to get me a new show anyway. I hope that's not going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I've been paying all this insurance. I want to remodel anyway. So I just got a chance to do it, Hopefully that's not going on. I'm just saying.
Yes.
But those buildings can be built back. Unfortunate that things like that are happening to them. Yeah. But why did it get to that? What caused it? For you to correct any problem, you got to get to the root of what made it happen in the first place. And if you don't think like that, you're very disingenuous, and I ain't got nothing to say to you.
Yes.
I'm going to try to educate you first. And if you still don't do it, we got a problem. Seriously. I don't know how you feel about that, Oscar, but
no, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. And for those just joining us, this is Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. You are listening to the Edge Radio Network, 1540 AM, 101.7 FM here in Houston and Pasadena. Just wanted to get that station ID in there at the top of the hour.
I always forget about Pasadena.
And well, I wanted to ask your opinion on this. Now, we all know Colin Kaepernick took a lot of heat, cost him his career.
Right.
he essentially lost everything for standing up for something he believed in, and continued to be ostracized even, months and years later. But now you have Drew Brees, and Drew made a statement. He said, "I'm not getting on no one knee for nobody." I mean, what's your thoughts around that?
Well, you know what? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Drew Brees, I'm going to give him his credit for everything he's done in the New Orleans area, for the New Orleans people, especially after Katrina, and some of the money he has donated and some of the money he has raised. Mm-hmm. I will never, say anything negative about somebody that has been so vocal or in the philanthropy department for a certain area.
Yes.
But that's got nothing to do with this. And by the mere fact that the very people that's been around you, protecting your back, catching those balls, running that ball, 70% of them are African American. The only thing you can talk about is kneeling down and your granddaddy.
Yes, exactly.
My granddaddy. Mm-hmm. They fought in World War II. My granddaddy. Mm-hmm. My grandfather fought in World War I. Yeah. Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when he came home, you know what he got? He got your mentality. Me first, nobody else. That's what he got. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for my grandfather, I wouldn't be here. My granddaddy fought in World War. Does anybody know? Maybe people don't know. Do you know black people fought in World War II? Do you know black people fought in every war that this country has ever had? You ever know? Did you know that?
Absolutely.
But do they know that?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think a lot of people do. I think they figured black folks were on cotton fields or something.
No, they were.
But there were even in World War II. There was even a squadron of pilots that were incredible, that helped to win the war, that turned the tide in the war.
Yes. Anybody know anything about that? No, I forgot. Most people don't read anything about Black history. They just want to read about. They used to have Black history it was an elective when I was in school, and I studied Black history. I think it's unfortunate that African American kids can't even study about themselves in our education system today. That's how systemic things are. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I think every African American kid should have the right in this educational system to go to school to learn about himself. I did it. That's why I'm so outspoken about what I do, because I learned about this side and that side, as to how this side dominates this side, as to how this side had to sneak low on this side. Yes, it was very refreshing. Look at the smile on my face.
There you go.
It's refreshing to know things and be educated on things. What's wrong with that?
Well, I think it's critical what you're saying. And when I was a kid, and I grew up in the 1960s and 70s. And,
so did I.
Yeah. And I remembered hearing that the Indians were scalping people, right?
Yeah.
They were taking off the scalp.
Yeah, like Roy Rogers.
What savages those Indians are. Until I realized it was the white man that was scalping the Indians.
Right.
Because they liked their pelt.
Right.
But the thing that really sort of gets my goat is that a lot of young people of color, really don't realize that if they look at Egypt was called Kemet,
right,
the land of the blacks.
Right.
If they look at the technology in the heart of Africa, which is Timbuktu, that was the first university on the planet, a college that taught physics and mathematics and irrigation and science, was in Africa when other people were still dwelling in caves.
Right.
So it speaks to the fact that we have a lot to be proud of that most young people of color never hear.
Now, it's funny you say that. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You will never learn this stuff, and you will never care about it if you don't study it at a young age. You get to the point where I'm out of school and I don't care about nothing but the crap I just learned.
Right.
That's really not going to even help you in life and make you look at yourself and have some kind of self-respect about yourself. Now, if everybody knows about how the British people colonized the whole world. Mm-hmm. But do you know before the British people became what they were just barbaric. Just barbaric people. And do you know the Roman Catholics came and showed them, hey man, you can do things this way. Then you go, well, where did the Roman Catholics learn all this discipline from? Learned it from the Greeks. You know, them Greek guys, yeah, hey man, y'all don't have to do that this way. Let me show you how to do something here. So what did them Greek guys learn their stuff? Goes back to what you just got through talking about, them Egypt guys.
That's right.
Them Egypt engineers come and show you how to build a highway, show you how to build a highway, show you how to build a statue, show you how, yeah, that's where it came from. And guess what an Egyptian is?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what he is. Mm-hmm. But they don't want you to know that. You know, a lot of people don't know that.
No, they don't. You're right. It's unfortunate, but history has been whitewashed.
Yes.
And one of the things that happens is
literally.
When you exactly. No, pun intended, right? When you have a group of people who take over another group, one of the first orders of business, and this is literally in a manual somewhere,
right,
is erase their history.
Yes.
Take away their history
right,
so that they don't know who they came from. And if you think about it, there's a poignant, and you and I, we kind of grew up watching this in 1977.
Right.
It was a revolutionary movie called Roots.
Yes.
And there's a poignant scene where the new slave master is beating the hell out of Kunta Kinte.
Yes.
And Kunta Kinte's a warrior. He comes from a line of warriors, and he says, "What's your name, boy?" And he hits him, and he says, "Kunta Kinte." And he hits him and breaks him until he's like, "What is your name?" "Your name is Toby. Your name is Toby." And what that scene did for me was, it crystallized in my mind that if somebody wants to control you, one of the first things they do is take away your identity.
Yes.
So you don't even know who you are anymore.
Right.
And so when people talk to us about systemic racism, and some people deny that it even exists, but your great granddaddy Jedediah got a loan for land that he was able to purchase, that he passed on to someone else, and that land is now what we call downtown Houston.
Right.
And it's in a trust.
Right.
And you're getting $10 million a month from that trust because you got prime real estate. And I'm sitting here trying to raise my kids on whatever. There is an unfair advantage that has plagued this country, and I think that it's now been peeled back. The layers have been peeled back. COVID-19 exposed it, and now this current situation has caused a global movement. So maybe it's
global.
Maybe it's time, man.
Wait, yeah, it's been time for me.
Yeah,
but I'm only one person. But going back to that root scene you was talking about, do you know I still know the actors' names in that scene? That was Vic Morrow, prominent character actor.
Right. You're right.
And LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton, that's right.
Now ask me how I know that. I don't know. Because maybe I hated Vic Morrow from that scene when I was a kid. I hated him from then on. You know what I'm saying? But Vic Morrow was a great actor, though, man. Great actor.
Well, I remember it was a weird time because I lived in New York back then. And I found white people were kind of walking around apologetic, like, "Oh, I'm sorry that ever happened to you people." Like I had no idea. And I was like,
wow.
"Hey, look, man." So there was some guilt, but then of course that went away pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that went away within 3 months. Let's get this ball back rolling. But I really feel as though my daughter just turned 26 years old, and when she was small, I used to always tell her, know your history.
Yes.
No lie. And I'm very proud of her to this day. Know your history. And I would always talk to her like she was a little older than what she was as to how things got to where they are. But me telling you one thing is one thing. You have to go study it and learn it yourself. And she did. And she started going to the library.
That's great.
And learning about Black history, man.
Wow.
And she makes me so proud when I think about it today. Ashton, we was having a conversation last night and how she can articulate things as if it pertains to what's going on today's world, and how she can take her age group
Right.
as to how she communicates with them about certain things and why they look at things certain, and a certain way. It's actually scary, because sometimes I look at it and go, "Damn, that's my daughter.
Yes.
Wow, you get it."
Yes. Yes.
So I guess it worked.
It worked because you instilled in her, and for those listening to us now that have young children, you instilled in her a sense of self-awareness and identity.
Right.
And that's so critical, because a young person has no other point of reference. They enter into this world as a blank slate of clay. And now the impressions, if you leave it up to mainstream media to shape them, you see black people killing black people.
Right.
You see black people with big fancy sneakers and cars.
Right.
And you miss the intellects of the world, you know, the ones that are not NBA players or rappers, but are thought leaders and thinkers. And, you know, the thing that I remembered having a conversation with my kids was that we are amongst the most creative people in the world,
if not the most creative.
Absolutely. We've gone from, we take things that are garbage and make it something amazing.
Right.
And if people don't believe that, boy, try some ham, try some oxtail with curry goat.
Right.
These are great. Now I've never been a chitlin eater. I can't say that.
I think I ate some when I was little.
Okay.
But I think I got a certain age. I was like, nah.
You went down with
I don't know why. I must have liked it. You know what I'm saying? Now, Brianna, I know you don't know anything about these foods we talk about. Don't try to act like you do.
You know what? I know chitlins is pig intestines. And my dad tried giving me that. I'm like, nope.
Well, but you know, it comes from different places, because in my country, Costa Rica, they called it there was mondongo. They called it mondongo, which was the same thing, chitlins, you know, and so but you're right. You look at that, you look at music, you look at all sorts of artistic expression. You're talking about a really creative people, and a people that are passionate. So my thing is, at this stage, our creativity has to kick in. But what I would like all listeners to really think about is this: the only way that you affect permanent change, and I feel this very strongly, is you have to have a financial position in this world so that you have a seat at the table.
Right.
We have not been given that opportunity.
That's right.
But the problem is that the powers that be have conditioned people to be consumers.
Yes.
Not savers.
Yeah.
Not planners.
Right.
And we have to change that, because by 2054 we will be -0 in terms of our net worth as a people if we do not make sizable changes right now.
Our net worth is the same as it was some 55 years ago, percentage-wise. That means there's no progress.
Exactly. Which is
Even though at one time, when I was a kid, I was just telling somebody this the other day, African Americans owned so much stuff in my neighborhood growing up. You know what I'm saying? The washateria, you even seen, African Americans at the bank in the area. Now, all of those things have been taken out of African American communities.
You're right.
All those things have been taken out of African American communities. Now, whereas we can control your money, even you guys make as much money as the 10th largest, most economical country in the world, only 93 to 94% of that income goes back into the community. So, I'm sorry,
7%.
7%.
Yeah.
Of 100, of 100. What is that? Whatever the numbers are. 7% only goes back into the community. That's virtually nothing.
That's right. No, you're exactly right. I read that same statistic. 93% is cycled out of the community within 6 hours of the time it comes in.
Right.
See, I remember I used to be in the hair business of all things back in the 90s.
You in a buddy of mine.
90s. Well, my ex-wife was a hairstylist. So we owned a hair health clinic. And I remember talking about this on the radio 20-something years ago about the Asian invasion And I said, the Koreans are systematically taking over all of the beauty supply business, all of the hair salons. And people were laughing. I said, man, they didn't kick the door down. You all left it open. And when you left it open, and then the sad part is that a lot of people ran across the street to buy from a Korean shop so they could save 50 cents on that hair they were getting. Instead of continuing to put young African American people of color through college, they put the Asian children through college. Now that's all good, but those Asian folks never hired any black folks, never put any more money in the community, never reinvested anything. All of the money that they make is summarily taken, and guess what? They are bringing in more of their people to build more business. Very smart on their part, very dumb on ours. So, but you know, Stevie Ray, I'm enjoying this. I've been messaged here.
This is straight shooting Stevie Ray, man. It's the only way we know how to do it. Is give the facts, you know, and give a damn.
Yes.
That's what we do. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with loving others, but it ain't nothing wrong with loving your own. That's the problem we got. Ain't nothing wrong with caring about others, but everybody else care about theirs first. That's what I preach. That's what I practice. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't nobody get mad at certain kind of birds that hang together.
That's right.
Don't nobody get mad when certain kind of horses hang together. You know, a thoroughbred like to hang with another thoroughbred. I don't pull no wagon for nobody, you know. I win races. That's who he want to hang around.
That's right.
I'm sorry, man.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't no plow horse. What the hell you doing, bro? I mean, you know, certain kind of people, you know, when they say birds of a feather, that's true. That's true. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you can respect other people's surroundings and respect what other people bring to the table, because we all bring something to the table. But I think in our communities, we have been convinced to just be, like Oscar just said, a consumer. Material things. No respect. Sometimes not even for human existence. A woman should act like a lady, not just a piece of meat. A marriage should mean something in raising kids, not just something to do. Even in our communities, we can admit this as men. But when you're brainwashed, and when somebody has taken your very existence and taken your name from you, and taken your history from you, and taken your culture from you, this is the end result when you don't do something about it and really listen. People stopped listening at what time? I don't know when it was. I don't know if when the movement started in the late 60s, early 70s. I don't know. But if anybody out there ever heard of Bobby Seals and Huey P. Newton, they started something called the Black Panthers in 1966, 1967, right in there, 65, 66, 67. The government infiltrated them when they were trying to teach black pride, when they were trying to protect their neighborhoods, when they were trying to make sure the kids ate breakfast every morning and have some dignity about yourself. That's too much like right. And you know what those two guys wanted? They wanted two things. And let's see how this kind of correlates with each other as it pertains to the day. They asked to stop police brutality, and they asked for equality. Now, where have you heard that before?
It's
where have you heard that? Brianna, where have you heard that before?
It sounds like someone had a dream. Well, you know, I'll tell you something that's interesting. You mentioned 1966. J. Edgar Hoover was
that cross-dresser. If anybody wondering,
was then leading and heading up the FBI, and he was asked, what do you believe is the number one threat facing the United States of America?
That's what he said.
And he said the gaining of independence and power by the Negro is the greatest threat. Now, this was during the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
This was during the Cold War.
Yeah.
This was during the Bolsheviks. All of this stuff is happening, but the black man understanding
A threat.
who he was considered the greatest threat. That speaks volumes. But I was going to say, Stevie, we're up against a break, and unfortunately, man, I was just in with a segment for you here, and I've enjoyed it. But what powerful dialogue! So I'm enjoying this. So, folks, those of you listening, we're here talking with Stevie Ray, great international wrestler, Hall of Famer, incredible, and thought leader, man. You know, I think I bring out Stevie Ray, the gentle cerebral. I bring out the cerebral side of Stevie Ray, man. I get on this, I'm loving the conversation.
Hey, man, you got to fill in for Oscar's the one that hired me, and Angel. Angel not here today. He's taking his place. That's what that's what the boss man have to do, dog. You got to step in sometime, man. That's what it's about.
Man, it's been a pleasure, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Straight Shoot with Stevie Ray here on Edge Radio, 1540 AM, 101.7 FM. We'll be back in just a moment. Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy.
During that time, I was an adolescent, and another thing that I struggled with was this idea that my opinion didn't count, it didn't matter. And I never forgot, I went to a college, it was in Westchester County, and it was a very affluent community. It was about 90% white. I was one of the few specks of pepper in a sea of salt, right? And I never forgot, there was this one professor. He was a priest. He had the collar that he wore all the time to see Catholic college. He had piercing blue eyes and this ruddy red complexion and snow white hair. And he had a grimace on his face that said, "I hate life and I want everybody to hate it with me." It was that kind of look. And he had the habit of choosing someone to humiliate once a day in his class. And this day, I saw his eyes lock in on me as I walked across the room. And he had a sneer on his face and he said, "I'm getting that one today." And there was a glass of water on that table. And what was interesting was this is an economic class. So the glass of water is sitting on the table. And he looks at me and he says, "Mr. Hines." During that time, I was an adolescent, and another thing that I struggled with was this idea that my opinion didn't count, it didn't matter. And I never forgot, I went to a college, it was in Westchester County, and it was a very affluent community. It was about 90% white. I was one of the few specks of pepper in a sea of salt, right? And I never forgot, there was this one professor. He was a priest. He had the collar that he wore all the time to see Catholic college. He had piercing blue eyes and this ruddy red complexion and snow white hair.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we were glad to have Mr. Oscar Hines, the man behind the scene, in the studio today to give his 2 cents. That's right, I said 2 cents, man. You know, he's not in here now. Now I can say what I want to. He's in a meeting with someone. He can't hear me. Hey, man, I don't need Oscar on my show, man. I don't need him here. Brianna, I don't need Oscar in here on my show.
Heck no.
Yeah, you know, we can do what we do, Brianna. He wants to come in and outshine me. You know, gives his 2 cents on things that I'm already talking about. You know, from now on, this is what we're going to do, Brianna. From now on, when I'm doing the show, lock the door.
Okay.
Okay? Lock the door. We ain't unlocking the door until I get off the air. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So if someone knocks on the door, if the building ain't burning down, we ain't letting them in. Okay? We don't need anybody coming in. No, I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar's a real good guy, man. A lot of times I just have to go in on people. That's just my mentality. I can't help it.
We gotta get security.
Yeah. But I got a question here from Chris. He says, are you interested in seeing Tyson and Holyfield again, at the stage of these lives? I think something, Chris, I think if they do anything, I think it'll be more of an exhibition than an all-out fight, I mean, I seen Mike on AEW. He couldn't even do that right. Chris Jericho was trying to do the interview to set up everything, and Mike was like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, dog, man, I couldn't do nothing but laugh, man. It was almost like he couldn't wait to get out there and do his thing, man. He was so hyped up. So I don't really know, man. What's up, Ricky? Melky. Hey, babe. Hey, Stevie. It's Melanie from WCW Dungeon Party Days at Delana's in Atlanta. Just got back from Butcher Shop. Hope you got some good meat. Got good meat for the grill. Hey, Brianna. Yeah, Brianna. I got your message the other day, Brianna. You was talking about somebody that wanted to help me with a documentary. I think that's what I read. I'm not 100% sure. But, loud and clear in South Carolina. That's good, I guess she's listening in South Carolina, Hooty-hoo from South Carolina. Okay. But yeah, that's what we want you to do. This is Edge Radio, and you can listen to it live. Whenever I come on and do a show, like I say, I always stream myself. But if you, want to use your phone and call in, 281-587-1540, you go to edgeradionetwork.com, edgeradionetwork.com, and you can stream the shows, live, not looking through my phone or something like that. And you get, because we have the cameras and stuff in here and so on and so forth, and we have the lighting. I can see outside to the businesses and things of that nature. Up on the 3rd floor, that's where we are, and that's what we're doing. What's up, Buddha? So I didn't get a chance to read a lot of you guys' stuff, and it's just not coming up right now, But who is this? Chris. Sonny Ono is a friend of yours and is someone who fought against racial prejudice in WCW. So do you think discrimination was common out in the open where your peers and other wrestlers? No, it wasn't really out in the open, Chris. It was kind of covert. You had certain people in there that kind of pushed the issue. People like Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor was like one of the main, the guys documented saying that the white wrestlers are better than the black wrestlers, based on what, But that's Terry Taylor's, he is what he is. He's an inherent person, systemic person. And even, I will never call his name, one person that I admire so much came to me one day and was like, hey, man, you know how he is. And this is another white guy, that's friends with him. Say, hey, man, you know how he is. Let that go, you know what I'm saying? But, it was what it was. And, yeah, man, what people don't understand is this. And, you can get to talking about race, bigotry, things of that nature. Well, what people fail to realize is this. You've seen Bruce Lee on different programs back in the 60s when he was doing his thing. And he would do that, he was talk about that thing like they're doing on ESPN now when he says, be like water, my friend. Be like water. Well, I look at bigotry and racism the same way as Bruce Lee looked at water. So, and what I mean by that is this. Wherever they go, being the racist and systemic people, that's where it goes. So it has nothing to do with the marquee on outside the building, has nothing to do with geographical areas, has nothing to do with the job. It has to do with, did you bring it with you? Because if you brought it with you, it exists where you are, if that makes sense to anybody. Just something for thought. I know we agree. Children are our future, and we need to make this world a better place for our kids. Because that's what we're supposed to do. Exactly, Archie. That's exactly right. You want your kids to live in a better world than what you lived in. We all want that as parents. That's why we work so hard for them. But it seems like everything's inverted now. Especially when parents have to bury their kids. That's not right. Ad nauseum. That's not right. Whether it's us killing us or them killing us, that's not right. That is something that has to change. Because of nonsense, stupidity, bigotry, and systemic racism, people are dying ad nauseum. I guess I never really thought about that till right now. That's not right. But it just behooves me that people will rather bring up something else to deflect than just look at things for what they is and try to make things better. How hard is that? It's easy to be the biggest punk in the world than try to step out your house and uplift someone else. How hard is that? It's kind of easy, huh? That's funny to me. Yeah, brother. Fatu. Hey, Brianna, Fatu gave me the shirt. He's Samoan. Proud Samoan, man. That's my boy. He just also said, hey, nice shirt. I couldn't find another shirt to wear today, man, so I had to take my Samoan shirt, man. It's my Samoan Dynasty shirt out, man. I was going to go work out in it, but I changed my mind. I don't want to get no sweat on it, man. I love this shirt, man. Every time I wear it to the gym or something like that, people go, hey. You know, and I go, hey, man, you go look it up, man. They got plenty of stuff out there.
Do Samoans, is it true that they all work out?
No. No, they don't.
That's just men.
They don't know. No, they don't all work out. Maybe like 5% of them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I've never heard that and never heard anybody ask me that. So I really don't know. Perhaps, I don't know. They live on a small island, so maybe they nothing to do but go work out, man.
I mean, the only Samoan I know is Rock, so I'm just going off what I see.
Oh, but see, the Rock's only half Samoan. But most of his kinfolks are Samoan, so I guess that makes him like 80% Samoan.
I'm not
Oh man, but you know how it is. You know, hey, that's a good question though. Next time I see one of my Samoan friends, I will ask him. You know,
you gotta put him in a bench press competition.
Well, what is this? My boy is asking. How long until we see Stevie Ray confront the revival on AEW and start? I don't know, man. I really don't know how long that would be. Now, I just got through chronicling not too long ago. Hey, man, I'm living my best life. You know, I'm healthy. I'm, doing things in my world and being able to enjoy life the way I want to enjoy it without a bunch of headaches and stuff like that. I'm living my best life. And I love that, man. I love it. So, Rikishi, my fiance, is a very huge fan. Oh, you're talking to, yeah, that's Rikishi. That's Rikishi. He was the Fatu, just called in. But hey, man, we're doing what we're doing, man. We're right here, Edge Radio. And like I said before, Edge Radio is a new radio platform right here in Houston, Texas. And they reached out to me to come on this show and talk about the things I want to talk about, man. And I'm usually talking about sports. I'm usually talking about football, basketball, MMA, boxing, pro wrestling, all those things. But because of the social unrest that I'm not proud of right now, but then proud in another way. So we have to address it. But someone just asked me about Sonny Ono. Tonight, 7 p.m. Central, Twitch/Stevie Ray TV. Twitch/Stevie Ray TV. Sonny Ono and Vince Russo. We're calling it the Great Debate. And my man just asked me about the lawsuit. You tune in tonight live, 7 p.m. You'll get all your questions answered. I didn't want to bring it up, but I got to bring it up. Tonight, 7 p.m., Twitch/Stevie Ray TV. Go to Twitch, download the app, go to Stevie Ray TV, and live tonight on my podcast, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, the world's most dangerous podcast, I have a live debate, Brianna. A live debate that's never been done before.
Wow.
Not on a podcast, where people can live, not taped, where people can see it later. They can call in tonight and ask questions about what they think about one side, what they think about the other side, what they think about what's going on live. Where else can you do that other than on radio?
Nowhere.
There's one place. On Stevie Ray TV. That's where they can do it at. That's where they can do it, Brianna. Mm-hmm. I'm giving people what they want. I'm like the OJs. You remember the old OJ song? Give the people what they want. That's me. I'm giving them what they want. Mm-hmm. I ask people, what do you want? They tell me. See if I can get it for you. That's what I do. I don't just think about doing, well, I'm going to just give people this, regardless what they like. That's not what I do. That's what I'm saying. People got a misconception of me. They got a very distinct misconception. I'm giving them what they want. And they appreciate that. If I don't do it, who will? Nobody. And everybody be in the same boat. I'm giving them live content. Just like they can look at this show live right now. I'm looking at you guys right now on Facebook. I'm looking at you guys right there on Edge Radio. That's looking at me. All eyes on me. Just like the Tupac song, or the Tupac album. All eyes on me. I relish the eyes. I don't care. Nobody scares me. Nobody scares me. Nobody. Come on, bring them on. I'm ready. I'm always ready. My girl Brandy says she's on. She's going to be there tonight. Brandy, she's a follower. She's going to be on. She's going to be asking questions. Send the comments in. And I'm the mediator. I'm going to call it right down the middle. I'm going to give this man a chance to say something. Then I'll give this man a chance to say something. Now, this has been in the works, Brianna, for 21 years.
Wow.
That's
almost my age.
Exactly. I was just about to say, you probably was a baby then. This heat, I'm trying to take care of it, man. Because one man is an Italian white man. One man is a Japanese American.
Okay.
It takes the black man to step up and try to come to a medium between the two.
Hey, we gotta do it.
I gotta do it. That's my job. I'm not afraid of my job. I relish my job. Because, see, I have love for both of them. They don't have any love for each other. But I have love for both of them. And I honestly think I can get them in a room together. It won't be in a room together, but it's on video. This man is on the video camera. This man is on the video camera. I'm on the video camera. We're all on the screen together. So that's the next best thing to being there. It's the next best thing. And the audience can watch it if they just go to Twitch, on the Twitch app, /Stevie Ray TV, and they can watch the whole thing.
It's gonna get spicy.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I want it spicy. But I want it civil.
Civil. So
I don't want no looting.
okay.
I don't want any looting. I don't want any breaking any windows, things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It'll be civil. That's what I'm there for.
Right.
Yeah. And I can't wait. Somebody just brought it up and it reminded me. My boy Archie said he'll be there. But, you know, that's what we're going to do. Edge Radio Network, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it behind me. Edge Radio Network. Check it out behind me. 1540 AM. 101.7 FM, Houston, Pasadena, Texas. EdgeRadioNetwork.com. EdgeRadioNetwork.com. And you can, a couple of my listeners said they can hear it from, they're getting great reception.
That's awesome.
You know, that's what we're trying to do. We want people to listen to this station all over the United States of America.
All day, all night.
Yeah. Even in Costa Rica, where Oscar is from. I don't know. Do they have radios in Costa Rica?
That's a pending debate.
I don't know. We need to check on that. We need to see if they got any antennas and stuff like that in Costa Rica. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding, man. Costa Rica is a very, 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 very beautiful country, man. South America, yeah. But my boy Ronaldo said hello from Richmond, Virginia. What's going on, brother? Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, I remember Richmond, Virginia. I remember a lot of those towns I used to go to. Brianna, a lot of the towns I can still remember. A lot of towns had a lot of nice people in them.
I heard that Virginia has really nice seasons when it's like autumn, all the leaves look real beautiful.
Yes.
I learned that from Fallout.
Yeah. You'd be surprised, Brianna, how beautiful the United States really is. When you travel this country, you'd be surprised that we live in such a beautiful country, and no two parts of it is the same, man. And that's what's special about the United States of America. It's just sad that the people, as a people in this country of which we live, doesn't really exhibit how beautiful this country really is. You know, I you know, sometimes I think back on some of the road trips I was on. You get to certain areas and go, just wow, you know.
So the place was beautiful, but the people.
Well, I'm just talking about a country in general, and it's like, it's because so many people, you know, as we know, that are from certain communities in big cities like Houston, not necessarily Houston, but just big cities like Houston. A lot of the people, they never leave that area. If you know what I'm saying, not really. You know, they might go a couple of 100 miles to see their cousins or something like that here and there. But in essence, I've been in every state in the union except for Hawaii.
Well, now we know where you're going next year.
I'm never going to Hawaii.
Why?
I always wanted to take my daughter there. And I was always curious about going there because I'd never been there. But after watching Hawaii 5-0, I could care less about Hawaii.
What? Where are you getting that from? I don't understand.
Hey, man, there's too much trouble on that island, man. I don't want to go down there. There's too many crooks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got one little island, all kind of bad stuff going on. I don't want to go down there, man.
Oh, man.
I don't want to go, you know?
And everything's like, you know, $300 for like a meal.
Oh, okay, even better. I don't want to go down there and get ripped off.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's very expensive there. Why? I don't know. Why is it so expensive there?
I don't know. Because they can pay it.
Well, they can pay it. I'm talking about me. I don't want to spend no $300. Okay, I'll spend $300 on a meal if it's a lot of us.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But if it's just 2 or 3 of us, come on. How much shark fish can I eat?
Okay, then you're not ready to go to Hawaii.
I mean, come on. Why are they trying to rip people off on the mainland? Why are they trying to do that?
That's how they make their money.
And then what are they going to do? Put me in a helicopter and take me over some volcano that's active? I might fall in that volcano. I'm not doing that. Don't try to get me to fly over some active volcano.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Well, I know. Yeah, I've seen the brochures. Yeah, I've seen them. No, I'm not doing that now. I wanted to go to Hawaii. I don't know, man. You got me curious now, Brianna. You got me curious. I think it'd be better if I go to Tahiti. That's in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
That's a vacation area.
I've heard Trinidad and Tobago is real nice.
Well, see, I've been to the Caribbean before.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get out of the Western Hemisphere for a second,
Right.
Let's get out of there, I did all that, I might be even taking a trip to Cuba.
Wow.
Yes, it's on the board. I might be taking a trip to Cuba.
Well, you don't need to go to Hawaii then. There you go.
Well, no, I want to go see where. Well, I'm interested in both, but I want to go see where Fidel Castro hung out for years.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of history there.
Yeah, man. But I'm interested in history. That's me. I've read about the revolution many times. I read about when Castro and the Castro regime came in and they overthrew the Batista regime. I read about all that. And then Castro was like, no, I don't want no gangsters running my island no more. Y'all pick your stuff up or you're going to have to pay for this, that, and the other. No more free sugar for all these other countries. Yeah, that's what Castro did. I'm with him. I know it was a rough and tumble thing that he had to do, but he made one mistake.
What was that?
He aligned himself with communism. And communism in the Western Hemisphere just was not going to fly. And that's why the nation was under economic sanctions for a zillion years.
That's why a lot of Cubans in the U.S. are Republican.
Yeah.
Because they're so afraid of it.
Yeah. They should be. They should be afraid. Because it was rough. It was rough. That's what, when you heard Oscar allude to the Bay of Pigs, that's what he was alluding to. The Bay of Pigs, where the CIA had gathered a lot of Cuban refugees and trained them, in military warfare. And they were going to send them back over to take back over Cuba. And it didn't work out. A lot of people got killed. So that's what Oscar was talking about when he was talking about the Bay of Pigs, which is still a controversy to this day because they said John F. Kennedy was supposed to send in, airplanes for cover, and he never did. Now, how true that is, I don't know, because I've heard people talk about it one way, and I've heard other people that was involved talk about it another way. So who knows what to believe when it comes to that kind of history, because it was all covert and everybody was on the take. So what the hell, But it's interesting history, man. And, that's why I want to go.
Well, hey, I think it'll be a great trip.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some Cuban women on like these different magazines and stuff like that. I can't wait to see the Cuban women. I'm serious. I want to see if they look like, they always put a Cuban woman out there like super, super beautiful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I wonder if they're all like that. Because see, I got tricked like that once.
What happened?
Okay. It was a strip club, right? It was a strip club in, was it Detroit? I think it was Detroit, right? and they showed it on HBO. You know, right? And this is how I got bamboozled. Okay. So me and my brother seen the little expose they did on the HBO special. And they had all these crazy stuff going on at the strip club, and so all these people dressed all nice and this, that, and all this stuff going on. And I'm like, wow, man, I gotta check that place out, man. I can't remember the name of it though. It was called a Blue something. I think it was a Blue something. So I remember me and my brother, we was doing a show in Michigan, and we went to our hotel, and we asked, I think this was this Michigan? I think it was Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. And I've been hit on the head with a lot of chairs and stuff like that, so a lot of stuff don't come back to me.
You've been to all the states, so I understand.
Yeah, I think it was Michigan. But a lot of the guys can remember stuff just like verbatim, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that. But anyway, we seen this HBO special, on, I can't remember the HBO. They used to always do like little documentary type things on there. So we get to, and we asked the guy, the maitre d' guy, hey man, you ever heard of the so-and-so such a club? And the guy was like, oh yeah, man. It's and gave us the direction stuff. Cause remember, we didn't have GPSs and stuff then, like they do now. GPSs was just kind of like coming out there. So we just have to go by, we pick a map up, and I drove this whole country on maps. I've never driven this country on GPSs. Yeah, on cities and everything. I've driven them on maps all over the country. So anyway, we go to, me and my brother find out who did, boom, we go put our clothes on, boom, 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 jump in a rental car, haul down to this blue, I think it was called a Blue Beacon.
Okay.
I think it was called a Blue Beacon. Water just jumped in my mouth, in my mind and my mouth. So we go down there because we ready for what we saw on HBO. I mean, the place is just like, if you saw this special, I tell you what, I want you to, when you get some time, I want you to pull up the HBO Blue Beacon thing, see if you can find it and see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We get down there, we get to the parking lot. It's like hardly no cars in the parking lot, man. Okay, it is what it is. Then we walk in the place, and the place is dead. When I say dead, I mean like Abraham Lincoln dead. I mean, this place is dead. And me and my brother looking at each other like, did we get here too early? And then the guys at the club was telling us, oh yeah, things are gonna drop off in a minute, man. Wait a minute, man, this is a strip club. When are things gonna jump off, man? I mean, things should be jumping off, because strip clubs have a lot of their business in the afternoon because of they do their lunch specials and all, because strip clubs are nothing but restaurants, you know what I'm saying, where they sell a lot of food. That's what people don't really realize sometimes. So why is it dead right now? They're never dead, because it's food getting sold all the time. So we waited there about an hour and a half, and I'm like, we looked at each other and we go, I think we just got bamboozled from TV. I think they just put that whole thing together, you know what I'm saying, that somebody did on HBO, but it wasn't real.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it wasn't real. And so we ended up leaving, man, and because we had been talking about, man, going to this Blue Beacon, we can't wait to go there. And the thing was, it was a black strip club. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Man, strip clubs all over the place, but like 90% of them are always just white strip clubs, or they mix or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the way they made this place look on HBO, it was like the Players Ball. You see in the movie, like the Players Ball. That's what they made it look like. And I'm like, oh, I got to be there, Man, that was the biggest ripoff in the world, man. And I don't know if the Blue Beacon is still there, but thanks for ripping your boy off. We had to pay to get in, pay to park, and all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, it was straight up ripoff. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what happens. That's another one of my stories on the road. Now, if I was on the podcast, I could really tell you some things that really went on, but I can't talk about it here on the radio. So
as long as it don't have cuss words, you can.
You can say with $3 and high rally if you stay. You know what? Chris just asked me. He said you can say with $3 and a wife ago. I was doing a convention in New York, and this is when my daughter was in high school, because I took her with me because my daughter's always been in theater arts, so I wanted her to go see what New York looks like. and after I got through doing my signing and stuff like that, I was in the lobby, talking with some fans and stuff like that. And then the guy he's talking about, Kerry Von Erich, he lives in Hawaii right now. He's from the Dallas area. He walks up and go, "Hey, Stevie, what's up, man?" And I go, "Hey, what's up, Kerry?" And he goes, "That your daughter?" I go, "Yeah, man." And he was like, "Yeah, Kevin, his brother, who's deceased now, has a daughter that was wrestling." I said, "Yeah, I've seen her on television." And so we were just chopping up a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, man, did you ever tell your daughter about the time we got ran off the island in Anguilla?" And my daughter was like, "What?" He was like, "You never told her about that?" I go, "No, I never told her about that." And he was like, "Okay, you ought to tell her about it, man." And then he was like, "Hey, man, I'm living in Hawaii right now. If you ever come to holler at me, man, you can come stay at my house." Just like what Chris is saying right now. And then we got through talking, he left, and then my daughter's like, "What is he talking about? You guys got rid of?" I'm like, "Baby, it's a long story, you'll never believe it, But it was a true story."
What happened?
I can't tell you, I don't know if we got time right now, but I'm gonna have to tell it at another time. But I'll put it like this. He's not lying. We was doing a show over in the Virgin Islands, and the neighboring island is called Anguilla. And this tour was messed up from the beginning. Oh man, it was just like a nightmare from the beginning. Now you gotta realize, me and my brother had just been in Japan for 10, 12 days or something like that, riding a little bus. Me, my brother, Manny Fernandez, Alex Parto, and Vito, a guy named Vito. We were the only Americans on the tour. And we had survived that. And then we get back to the States, and we thinking we're going to Paradise. Oh man, this is cool. We've been over there. Now let's go down to the Caribbean, have some fun, you know what I'm saying, And wrestle at the same time, get paid some money. On somebody else's dime, how good could that be?
It's a dream.
Especially coming from Japan, boy. We working over there. Working. Woo. So anyway, one of the tours we had to go to this island called Anguilla. So they set the ring up like in this like baseball type field. Now you got to realize I haven't been in the business but a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years. Let me see, maybe 2.5 years, something like that. So all these people are behind the fence. They got the ticket so high, all the island people can't get in.
Oh my God.
And they big fans of me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? I was just on the tour. I didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? As far as putting it together. I'm just working, an employee. And I remember me and my brother went out and wrestled. I can't remember who we wrestled again. And we got through and we got, changed clothes and, waiting for the show to finish. And then, I don't know if it was the main event or what, or close to it, somebody, because the people were getting angry, it was becoming kind of like a mob type thing. And one of the wrestlers, can't remember who he was, said something derogatory toward him. Man, them people start getting crazy, throwing stuff, tearing the fence down, all this stuff. Where I'm from, when you can't do nothing, what do? Run. Me and my brother grabbed our bags and we came over here on like a boat, like kind of like a SS Minnow from Gilligan's Island type boat, you know what I'm saying? So me and my brother, it's like a dirt road, you know what I'm saying, like a little dirt road. Me and my brother hauling us down this road, trying to get to the boat, because you can see the boat, and we are running, and we didn't care if those other guys got caught or not, man, because I'm getting out of here. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. Have you ever seen that? Well, at the beginning of that movie, Indiana Jones is running from a bunch of natives that's shooting arrows and stuff at him, and he's trying to tell the guy that's got the water plane, crank the airplane up, because he's right, he's running at it, and they do a wide screen. You see Indiana Jones running, and all those guys behind him trying to catch him. That was me and my brother. Instead of us trying to get to airplane. We're trying to get to a boat and telling them crank the boat up, man. We gotta. That's a true story. So that's what Kerry Von Erich was talking about, and I'm glad I was able to share it with the people tonight. But hey, man, it's been another great show. Edge Radio Network, 1540 AM, 101.7 FM in the greater Houston area. Like I said, every Friday, 2 p.m.